Hello all, it's Manisha Patil. Today we will be discussing historical development of industrial psychology or history of organizational behavior we can see. The history of industrial psychology could be traced from the beginning of 20th century. We can call this beginning has started from Dr. Walter Dill Scott, where he started addressing at the Northwestern University discussing the potential application of psychological principles to the field of advertising. This was followed by a series of 12 magazine articles, and later it was combined as a book in the year 1908 by Dr. Walter Dill Scott and published with the name of The Theory of Advertising. This was the first book which involved the application of psychology to the world of business. Later, we can trace the efforts of Hugh Munsterberg in 1913 with publication of Psychology and Industrial Efficiency. This book has become pioneering classic and has served a model for development of industrial psychology. It includes topics like learning, adjustment to physical condition and economy of movement, and it also speaks about monotony, fatigue and buying and selling. So, here we can see from the beginning of 19th century, many psychologists have made effort to bring application to the business world or industry of the psychology. Later, we can see that major active psychologists performed a vital role during the World War I. During World War I, psychologists were quite active and they showed their efforts on developing group tests for the army recruits and aiding the development procedures for the selection of officer personnel. In fact, many of the major post-war developmental areas of industrial psychology, such as group testing, trait testing, rating scales and personality inventory, had their roots in the activities of psychologists in the World War I. During the war years, the Fatigue Research Board was organized in Great Britain to discover the problems connected with hours of work, conditions of work, problems associated with fatigue and boredom, accident and safety and many other related matters. The problem of selling and advertising also drew the attention of many industrial psychologists, and soon after it expanded into researchers around personal selection, training and vocational guidance. In coming chapters, we will be talking about job analysis, job selection and training. So, there we will be discussing in detail about what is exactly the training and what is the selection process or analysis process. So, in the World War I, these all things started being discussing because it was very essential at that time to take care of hours of work and conditions of work, where initially it was 16 hours as we discussed in the last class. Now we have reduced it to 8 hours with good conditions of work, that is we have incentive plans and we have breaks in between. So this is the one of the major contribution we can say which has started during the World War I. And also in the year 1917, the Journal of Applied Psychology has appeared. It has been introduced as a course for many colleges, and in 1919 Scott and several others founded Scott Company of Philadelphia. This was the first psychological consulting firm ever organized and was oriented towards the personal problems in the industry. During the post-World War I, industry first began with show an interest in the discipline of industrial psychology. So, we can say the World War I was the major phase where industrial psychology has got its own its own matter of importance, and it has started gaining interest of many industries. Soon after the First World War itself, we can see certain firms such as Procter and Gamble of the Philadelphia Company, or the Hawthorne plant of Western Electrical Company, all have formed their own personal research programs. Hawthorne studies began in 1927. These studies are probably the most significant series of studies of research studies ever carried out in the industry in terms of impact they had on the growth and development of industrial psychology. They provided the foundation and expansion of industrial psychology beyond the realm of selection, placement and working conditions into study of motivation, morale and human relations. So, in next topic we will be discussing about Hawthorne studies and time motion studies. So, now here we can see soon after the World War I, there were many major industries which started carrying out the research studies, and also they focused their interest not only in selection, placement or work conditions, but also motivation of employees, morale of employees and enhancing the human relations at the workplace. Another major factor in the growth of industrial psychology was World War II. It was the huge psychological contribution to the war effort which provided to so many people that applied psychology had important practical contributions of the offer. So, as in World War I, great emphasis was placed on the development of tests for selecting and classifying the recruits. Also developed selection program for officers, various training program of specialized types and job analysis and performance of evaluation techniques. The Journal of Personal Psychology appeared in 1948, which was published as a result of factual psychological studies in such fields as training, job analysis, selection, evaluation, motivation and morale, work conditions and equipment design. Around 1945, engineering psychology, otherwise known as human engineering, became a part of industrial psychology when engineers and psychologists joined hands to solve the man-machine problem. So, in objectives we have looked at what is the major objective of industrial psychology was establishing, solving problems of man-machine matters. So, engineering psychology further increased its scopes by studying human factors in man-machine system. During late 40s or 50s, industrial psychology was gradually changing its attention from economic aspect to social aspect of functioning. During this period, considerably attention was focused on various human relations and social problems of industry, such as problems of supervision. There may be some dispute or there may be cohesive relationship between subordinates and superordinates, group dynamics and group interaction, leadership trainings and employees' attitude, morale, job satisfaction and communication process. In the beginning of 1960, organizational psychology began to enter the area of industrial psychology, and such as special emphasis was given to organizational inputs in industrial situation. Currently, now organizational psychology is concerned with the psychology of employee with special emphasis on individual, group and production. Organizational psychology emphasized on some new topics like organizational structure, that is how the structure of organization is, whether it is horizontal or whether it is vertical. That may be there is one hierarchy, next and next and next, but in horizontal we could see there are different departments functioning and it has different leaders for that. So and organizational development, stress, communication and other processes. So here when we talk about decision making, problem solving, stress and communication, the organizational psychology is majorly concerned with how the authority is taking decisions and how it is solving the problems. In one of the objectives we have looked into the aim, that is to solve the problems arising in between co-workers and to make a best decisions to give the best conditions, best job for the best person. And stress is the thing where if the employee is too much stressed or if the production deadlines are very nearby, usually we can see some kind of distress arising among the workers. So it has started in the year 1960s and onwards, where the organizations started emphasizing on solving these stress problems and establishing good communication. So thank you all. Today we have completed this topic. Tomorrow with the same historical development we'll be discussing about contemporary changes or contributions, and also we will be discussing about what are the major transformations happened in India at the area of industrial psychology. Thank you all.